Are you on Tinder? Because I'm on Tinder. And Tinder's a fascinating place. I'm very interested that, it works at all, right? You got an app. The only medium between you and a complete and total stranger is, basically like not even physical attraction, just like immediate gut response, right? Like, I like your face attraction. Minus a little bit of judgment, like from my end. I can be judgy. I'm sorry. Tinder's interesting, and I think about this a lot because, I've been in a relationship, thanks to Tinder, and now that I'm out of it, looking back on it, I just got different opinions because for a while I was thankful about it, but now it's like, it's hard for me to imagine diving into another committed relationship with somebody that, I genuinely want to work things out for the best with off of Tinder. And the reason why is because, Tinder is a bad filtration system. And let me explain what I mean. So when it comes to dating people, at least my perception, so I'm not married, right? I'm a single guy in my early 20s. So, take my advice with a handful of salt, if you will. But the idea is that, you're trying to find somebody that you click with. You're going to meet how many people in your life? Hundreds, likely thousands, really. Mosquito, you need to get out of my life. Likely thousands of people in your life, and the idea is you're going to stumble into one, maybe two, three people who really capture your interest. Somebody who these individuals on their own right, or somebody that you're willing to really to build something with, to connect with on a level that you would rather you spend time investing in than almost anybody else. That's kind of the idea. And sure, maybe you've got some friends that fill that category, but you've also got sexual partners that fill a different niche entirely. It's a whole game. So the idea is, it's a numbers game. That's the word for it. So maybe it's a probability. What are the odds that you're going to meet any one person on any one night that you could build that kind of relationship with? Let's call it 1 in 1,000. Let's call it 1 in 100. So let's say you meet 1,000 people over the course of the next 10 years, right? The odds are you'll come across 10 such people, right? That's what it means by numbers game. It's if you come across 20,000 people in the next 10 years, you're going to come across 200 such people. 1 in 100. Yeah. So that's what people mean by numbers game. It's the more time and energy you put into getting those numbers in, right, the more likely you are to stumble into somebody like that. I've got a bit of a fundamental problem with that kind of mindset, because that's kind of how I thought, and it has its faults, right? The main one is filtration. So I imagine a different scenario where, you're going to work. I'm watching this show. Here's a great example. I'm watching this show called Away, and I know it's fictional, right? But it's a show about this one woman, or a group of astronauts, but the main character is a woman who's going to be one of the first people to step foot on Mars. So she's in a spaceship, flying away from her family at a couple, 100,000 kilometers a minute. And she's got her husband back on home, who's also a fantastic astronaut, but wasn't allowed on board because he had a potential genetic issue that would have given him a stroke or something like that. So the idea is that these people, the way her and her husband met was they were both dedicated to the same mission. They're both astronauts. They're both trying to fly, and you find somebody like that who shares that kind of interest with you only because you were in that same situation. You pursued the same interest together. So the very fact that you were able to meet somebody who is interested, you were able to meet somebody in your, let's call it professional field, let's call it interest field, okay? The very fact that you were able to meet somebody attractive in your interest field means that person already passes through a handful of filters, all right? Namely being that they're as dedicated as you to be a part of that field. They're as interested in the thing that you're interested in to commit their life to that field. So therefore you already have something deep to connect with, because you're both already so advanced in that process. So compare that to the Tinder example, so that's just an example of filtration, and sure, that was a fictional example, but I'm sure the idea of that, it seems like it plays out. It seems like it would play out in a real world setting. So Tinder, for example, the only filtration that you have is proximity and time, because Tinder is very snap judgment. It's very in my experience, the odds that if you match with somebody and you haven't talked to somebody in the first month that you've been matched, the odds are you're not going to pursue a relationship with them. You're not going to pursue anything. They're just kind of sit in the matched list, right? So it's time sensitive. It filters for time. So just like the closest people to you, right? It filters for location. So the people who are like close locally to you within a couple, like dozen miles or something like that. And then it also filters for like attractiveness, which sure, you want to be attracted to the person that you're dating, but that's it. So the numbers game that you're playing on Tinder does not put you in a situation to find somebody that you are likely to be not just emotionally attracted to, but like kind of, what's a better way? I don't want to say professionally attracted to, but attracted to on another level that's truer to who you are, right? Because that's kind of the idea. I love this phrase, like you want to be attractive to the kind of person that you want to attract, right? In my case, right, I'm a real fan of intellectuals, right? And as pretentious as that word might sound, right, I like people that can openly disagree with me. It really makes my freaking heart light up. It's something else. And openly disagree in ways are like rational, that can have a chance at convincing me otherwise. It's beautiful. And other people, everybody has their own thing. That's just mine. So, in that case, like I want to be attractive to those kinds of people. So I want to put myself in situations where I'm likely to meet that kind of intellectual type. And, in your case, it's going to be whatever you're interested in, right? But Tinder does none of that. You can filter as best you can with a profile that says, hi, I like deep conversations with nice, smart, funny people. But like, what good is that going to do if the only process you have for selection is still going to be gut reaction, attraction, bottlenecked by proximity, bottlenecked by your current amount of time that you're willing to be patient in meeting with somebody. So for that reason, Tinder's for fucking, and you want to live. maybe there's better ways to go about approaching finding somebody that you'd rather be emotionally attracted to. Again, I don't know. I'm saying that for me more than the audience. Make up your own mind. I'm sure you've got your own opinions about something like this, but I don't know. A strategy I think I'm working on is that basically as soon as I'm comfortable meeting strangers again, freaking vaccine is going to be a clutch. Is I want to put myself in more situations where I'm likely to meet the kind of person that I'd be attracted to on more than one level. So I don't know. That's just me rambling on about my dating life. It's already funny. Anyways, that's it for this video. Freaking let me know if you agree, I guess. See ya. Peace.